Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. I'm Kristi Shive, and this morning we're visiting with Jordan Crain. She's Family and Consumer Sciences Agent in Barren County. And today you are going to tell us how we can make homemade butter using just one ingredient.
Absolutely. So the one main ingredient that you're going to need, Christy, if you want to make your own butter, is heavy whipping cream. And so if you don't have that on hand, it's usually pretty easy to find. But some people may already have it ready to go and in their fridge. And so, especially when we're around the holidays, that's one of those kind of staple things that we typically have around.
Now, Jordan, how much heavy whipping cream are we going to need?
So what I would recommend you start with is about a quart. So take a quart of heavy whipping cream, and when you first you know, get ready to make the butter, you want to let that quart of heavy whipping cream get to room temperature. Because
Mhm.
using cold whipping cream, Christy, it would just make your process take a little bit longer. So
Okay.
if you have it setting out, just a few minutes before you're going to start making the butter, it just makes your process go a little bit quicker. And then you're going to pour it into a mixing bowl. Now, it's a lot easier if you have like a stand mixer, but if you don't, you can still do this process. But you want to get that room temperature heavy whipping cream into your mixing bowl. Okay, and like I said, it is best to use a stand mixer, but if you don't have one, you can still go through the process and get you some butter at the end.
Would a hand mixer be the second best item to use?
That would be the best
Okay.
because it just takes a lot of whipping and mixing. So to keep us from getting just exhausted from making the butter, you want to either use a stand mixer or a hand mixer. Yes.
Okay.
And so when you start, heavy whipping cream, if you've ever kind of dealt with that or whipped it a little bit, it starts to kind of look like Cool Whip, like it gets really fluffy. And so it takes just a little bit of time, but you can see that liquid start to kind of turn fluffy, and you get that whipped cream consistency. And so when we're making butter and we get that, we want to keep going. Okay,
Okay.
we don't want to stop right there in that moment. We want to keep whipping and just let the process happen. Once you see the whipped cream, you will notice that your mixture starts to separate again. So you're going to hear some sloshing, especially if you're using a stand mixer. You may not be looking at it constantly, but you can start to hear that sloshing. And what that is that's the fat separating from the buttermilk. So we're actually getting two things out of our heavy whipping cream. Once you start seeing that liquid, that can indicate that it's almost time for your butter to be finished.
How many minutes would you say that it takes to whip it?
Takes to whip it, probably around 5 minutes or so.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it will separate if you're using a stand mixer. That butter will gather in the whisk attachment on your mixer. And once you see that, it looks just like butter. And that's when you can go ahead and turn your mixer off. So really the next thing you're going to do, what's left in your bowl is the buttermilk. You can use that if you want to. But if you don't, that's okay. But you're going to take your butter, your kind of solid like butter off of the whisk. You want to take that to the sink. You're going to have kind of like a ball of butter. You want to run that under some water and squeeze that occasionally. And what that's going to do, Christy, is it's going to get the rest of the buttermilk out of your butter. Okay.
Okay.
And so then you will be left with just a ball of butter. So this then would be the step where if you want to do salted, you can add in some salt. And if you have any herbs that you would like to add in or spices, this would be the time to do that as well.
All righty. And now then we just store it in a container in the refrigerator, I'm guessing.
You do, yes. You just want to get like an airtight container, store it in the fridge, and then enjoy it with your choice of bread or anything like that.
All right, Jordan. Well, it sounds easy enough. And for anyone feeling inspired to make homemade butter, I hope that this helps. Thank you, Jordan, for being with us today. Thank you for joining us on the Farm and Home Show, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.